I think I would just love to see just like a one community, so where that everybody comes together, no matter who you are, what you look like. We come together, we trust each other, and we work on like common goals together. So if there's an issue in a certain area, we all tackle it as a community.
Hi everyone, I am Char, CEO of Full Circle Docklands. You are watching Forward Focus. Today I am here with
Lee Stevens.
Hi Lee Stevens, thank you for joining us today. Who do you work for and what do you do?
So I work for Avon Somerset Police, and my role is a police community support officer, which is very different to the role of a police officer, which most people will be aware of. They're the officers that you see driving around in cars, arresting people for incidents that happen in there and then. So the role of the community support officer is very different. So we look at addressing much longer term issues, problem solving, and really we're kind of embedded in the community. So we get to know all of our local businesses, our schools, all of the services within the community, and by building up those relationships, we hope that we have sort of some trust and we can tackle longer term issues. It's sort of like a team approach. If you're suffering with any issue, whether that be antisocial behaviour or you have some issues with neighbours, and you feel like you can't get any sort of support or you're not getting anywhere, then it's always worth letting us know. So you can do that through 101, or you can do that through reporting online on Avon Somerset's website. And then one of the community support officers, so myself or one of my team members, will have a conversation with you around what's happening, and obviously who's involved. And then once we know the problem, we can look at how best we can sort of put some support in place to try and tackle that issue or to support that person. So it doesn't always have to be a crime. It could be somebody that's vulnerable. It could be a neighbour that you think you've seen lots of people coming and going from their address and you're really worried about them. We would go and make those visits and find out if everything's okay and delve a little bit deeper into those sort of real community issues.
What do you think are some of the biggest challenges facing our communities across Bristol today?
I think I'd probably look at that from a dual sort of approach. So working in St Paul's, which is St Paul's and Montpellier and St Werburgh's, which is my two areas, I'd be hard to not say knife crime at the moment. We've had a really tough year. Sadly, some people have passed away through the year due to knife crime. So I think that is going to be a major thing. And how we tackle that is a very sort of challenging approach and multi sort of faceted, I'd say. I think we ultimately there's police powers that we can stop search people, we can target people that we think are carrying knives if we have intelligence to just suggest that somebody's carrying weapons. We can stop search them. Obviously we may not always know who's carrying weapons and knives, and that's when it gets tricky. So I think that's where we would then look on sort of community members, parents, to really try and educate their children on the risks of carrying weapons and knives and ultimately the cost that it has on the community and families, because the impact's horrific. People have passed away and sadly will continue to if we're not able to sort of tackle it and really stamp it out and try and make young people feel that they don't need to carry knives. That's kind of the approach we're looking for, and I don't know how we do that. It's really a real joined up approach between the police, community leaders, families, parents. I think everybody plays a big part in that.
So I was in a meeting the other day and someone said we are all partners, whether it's the police, the educational system, the health care system, the council, the youth services, the parents. We are all partners in making this society better for our community members. And I totally agree with that statement. What do you think community members can do to help change the perception for young people who carry knives?
It is tricky. We do judge people from the way they look. For instance, if somebody's dressed a certain way, we may presume that they're carrying weapons, and it's not fair that we do that. Which is why a lot of our stop search is based on intelligence. But I think we just need the community to come together and tell us what they know and trust in us, because ultimately that's how we can get results and we can get justice for victims of crime. So it's really just trusting in us and come to us with what they know. And the role of the community support officer is that we hope that over the years we build up that trust so that people are happy to come to us with those bits of information, which may lead to sort of arrests further on down the line. So, but you're right, it is it's an issue for everybody, and that partnership working is crucial.
I understand that some of the older generation from our community, they have traumas from their past experiences with the police, and some people of my generation, it may not have been so hard for us. So I know for myself, you know, I may be a bit more receptive to collaborating with the police on certain youth-led projects, which will be a bit different to someone who's from an older generation. How do we support the older generation to build those bridges and build those relationships that were unfortunately destroyed due to different times and racism?
It's a hard one. Obviously, there's no denying that there's a lot of damage was done in the past, and you're right, we are in a stage of where we're trying to rebuild that trust. And I think the best way for me is through engagement. So that face-to-face contact with people, they get to see who I am, they get to see what I stand for, what I believe in, and then hopefully through that and seeing results, you know, seeing sort of consistency from me and my colleagues that we are going to turn up, we are going to support you, we are going to deal with these issues, that we need to gain that trust back that way. But yeah, it's very challenging because I don't expect people to forget about the past and how they may have been sort of ill-treated in the past.
And what steps do the police actively take today to try and build relationships with young people who may be exposed to potential youth violence or engaging in antisocial behaviour? What would the police do to try and build those relationships with that demographic of young people?
It'll be attending places like Docklands Youth Club so that we're here and we're available, and we people that attend the youth club may get to know us, or that could be people out in the community that are just hanging around. We'll be that familiar face that keeps turning up and supporting them and saying, how you doing, guys, and is there anything you want to let us know, or, you know, how do you feel at the moment? They may well let us know that there's some sort of tension around and things like that. So it's just, again, goes back to trust and building up those relationships, and it is the relationship that's key, because that's where we're going to share and support each other.
In your role, what would you like to see happen with the community over the next 5 years? What would be your ideal scenario?
I think I would just love to see just like a one community, so where that everybody comes together, no matter who you are, what you look like. We come together, we trust each other, and we work on like common goals together. So if there's an issue in a certain area, we all tackle it as a community, whether that be residents, council, the police. And then I think I'd probably say the second biggest issue that faces the community at the moment is antisocial behaviour. So on the surface of it, it may not seem like a very big issue to some people, but when you look at the number of people that can affect, so say it could just be one person causing an issue for a certain street, and that may well be affecting 50 people's lives. They may not be getting any sleep because somebody could be screaming and shouting all night, or smashing things up, or something along those lines. So although that's a much lower level issue than what we've discussed with the knife crime, that affects a lot more people. And the damage and harm that can be caused by sort of like lack of sleep, and then people not being able to go to work the next day, or not being able to perform properly in work. So I think certainly from my perspective as a community support officer, it's very important that we tackle both of those with the same sort of seriousness, because there are massive effects from antisocial behaviour, which again, you're probably much more likely to come into contact with than you are the sort of more serious issues.
The Avon Somerset Police currently fund our boys club, which we are very thankful for. It's much needed, and is something that we've been wanting to deliver from Docklands for a little while. What other opportunities do you think the police force can support when it comes to young people broadening their horizons and gaining new experiences? What would you like to see more of in terms of the police supporting opportunities for young people?
The opportunity could be anything. I think that the key thing for me would be the relationships that could be built from that opportunity. So whether that's some kind of away day sort of thing where you build relationships, that could be like a walking up a mountain, or whether that be gaining some work experience. I think as long as you're building relationships through that activity, then that's the key, and that's where those that trust is going to come from. And if we can support young people to change the direction of their lives, then that's what it's all about, and that we would take a lot from that.
I am under no illusion that we cannot save everybody, but what do you think young people should be doing?
I think they should be doing whatever they enjoy doing, and I think hopefully in Bristol East we've got lots of opportunities, whether that be sort of boxing clubs, Empire Fighting Chance, or whether that be music sort of industry that we've got here at Docklands, or there are plenty of sort of opportunities across Bristol East that I would just encourage anybody to get into those, whether that be a youth club or work experience, or any sort of community type youth club, anything where they can share with other young people, they can learn, they can share experiences, and just grow that way, and obviously take their life in the direction they want it to go. And I think that anything's possible for anybody, and I really believe that. So I think the opportunities are out there. We just need to get people to believe in themselves and give it a go. Lastly,
what message would you like to give to the community?
I would probably say that if you see a police community support officer in your community, come and talk to us, come and say hi, come and get to know us. We run various events, so we do Talk to Us events that we advertise on the website, which is an opportunity to members of the public to come along, meet the team, and they can talk about any issues or what they really love in their community, and then we can sort of develop things from there. But yeah, just come and talk to us, get to know who we are, we can get to know who they are, and I'm sure over time then we can look at support if it's needed, or if not, it could just be a friendly face to say hi every time we pass. So we really enjoy building up those relationships, so we get to know shopkeepers and things like that, and pub landlords and things like that. So, and the real hubs of the community, we spend time getting to know those people, and it's a real nice sort of situation where you just walk back down the street and someone says, "Oh, hi Lee, how you doing?" And it's nice to do the same back. So I think that's my message, is just come and talk to us, come and say hi, come and get to know who we are, and we can get to know who you are, and then for me, that's how we can build that community over time, and really sort of understand that people have lives outside of this. This is a uniform, but I have a life away from this. I have a family, and I'm more than happy to talk to people about that and share my experiences where I've came from, and maybe people will sort of look at me in a different way. But yeah, that's my message. Come talk to us.
Lee, thank you so much for joining us today. So there you have it, folks. You are watching Forward Focus, and I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Thanks for watching.